Hello, I'm off on a little hike today. I've travelled a bit further from my house than usual and I'm in search for a little body of water called Treaton Dyke in hope for a little wild swim. I'm going to do a spot of foraging while I'm out and about, see if we can find any cool water plants and just ultimately enjoying this beautiful sunny day. See this wild rose behind me? Let's take a look at this. The scent of these this time of year is so beautiful. Not all of them smell nice, so you do have to sniff your way around the bushes to see which ones take your fancy, but these are absolutely delicious. I like to make rose water with them and also use them for iced teas. They've just got a really delicate kind of floral flavour that complements green and black tea quite nicely. When you're harvesting wild rose, there's not really too much need to take the whole flower, and yes, unless you want to candy them and use them for baking and things like that. But you can actually just take the petals from the flower and then that leaves a nice little middle bits for all the pollinators. So as this old saying goes, what grows together goes together, and this is actually my favourite combination for iced tea, wild rose and red clover. I've literally just covered these in my last June foraging video, so I'll link that in the top and you can have a little watch on that if you want to find out a little bit more about clover and its uses. And then just next to the red clover, down here we've got some lovely little fluffy white clover, and this has got much the same uses as the red clover as well. Can you see that water in the distance? Just in front of it though is the hawthorn, and you can see that all of the flowers have faded. It's just starting to push out its little berries now. You see those little green apple type things? They are the hawthorn berries and they'll turn a really deep red once they're ripe. And they've got a smushy inside with a really big seed, and they kind of taste like a furry apple. I really like them, not everybody does, but if you wait until they're the right ripeness, they're actually really quite delicious. The leaves are still edible this time of year, though not to everyone's liking. I prefer them when they're proper young and they've just popped open. This would be an idyllic place to swim if Chris was here, but because I'm on my own and I'm not the strongest swimmer, I don't really trust going for a swim around all of these little roots. But water lilies are edible. You can eat the rhizomes, the leaves and also the flowers as well. Man, I was so tempted to go for a swim in those water lilies. But I'm just going to come back, I think, with the paddleboard and Chris, and it'll be a bit safer. But I can harvest one and show you them a little bit closer. This huge shrub looking thing here with leaves a little bit similar to lilac is one of the UK's most invasive plants, and if you've got this grown in your garden then you'll have a bit of trouble selling your house. This is Japanese knotweed and it's identifiable by its kind of zigzag stem, and it's very, very large, almost heart-shaped leaves, but the top's flat rather than kind of curved in like a heart. This is actually a delicious edible when it's super young, so you want to be getting the stems when they are just starting to come through, and they've got a tangy kind of flavour, so quite similar to rhubarb. You can also use the flowers from Japanese knotweed to make a really nice cordial. If you come across some absolutely monster dandelion seed heads, then it's actually salsify. This is Meadow salsify. Once it matures, it's got these very, very fluffy dandelion-esque seed heads. So all parts of this plant are edible, from the leaves, the flowers and even the roots. The roots can be cooked and kind of sautéed a bit similar to potatoes, and loads of people say that the leaves are similar in taste to artichoke. Look at all of these catkins absolutely carpeting the floor, and I feel like I use the term carpeting a lot, but this is literally a fuzzy little carpet. So these are from this big old willow tree here, and willows are quite hard to identify down to species, but good news is that all willows are edible. All willows can be used for making medicine. Not all willows are tasty, but all are edible and all can be used to make healing medicine with. It's usually the bark or the inner bark that's used. All the blackberry buds are starting to burst open. It won't be long before we've got some juicy blackberries on the cards. gone on a little mission around the other side of the dike because a couple who were fishing said that it was a lot safer to swim around this side. I'm not sure if they were just saying that because they didn't want me swimming near where they were fishing. But either way, I'm going to come around this side so I got a little bit more privacy. If you missed this little plant first time round and earlier this spring, then now is your chance to get the second bout of young leaves. This is Jack by the hedge, and it's a really gorgeous garlicky kind of flavoured leaf that's it's really delicious. Really nice when they're young like this before they start going into flower. Although if you do come across any that are still in flower or that the seed pods have formed, you can eat the seed pods as well, and they're really delicious. Gosh, I could smell this long before I saw it. I was looking around for it because the scent was so strong. This is elderflower, and if you haven't picked elderflower yet, then do get going. Because of this hot, dry weather we're having lately, it's not going to be around for too long, I don't think. But this is absolutely delicious, steeped into cordials, making wine. Joseph from Field Study just posted a video actually of a hedgerow sangria, elderflower sangria wine that looked absolutely delicious. But yeah, this is really nice. I love to make syrups with it. I put it into green tea and use it as an iced tea. Yeah, it's just really nice. I make elderflower sugar with it as well and use that for baking. There's lots of uses for elderflower. It's got a really delicate floral scent. What a day for it. Absolutely beautiful. Don't know where I'm going. The couple just said keep following it around to the left. I've come across some pretty nice spots, but they promised me some sort of like easy access gravel entry point to the dike. So I'm going to see if I can walk a bit further and find it, and if not, go back to those nice little rock bits down in the woods. Have you ever seen so much beautiful vetch? Just come across what you would call a proper rose. It must be an escapee, but it smells absolutely divine. Seems to be flourishing here by the water. Scrambled all along here. Here is a lovely little patch of oxeye daisy, or marguerite in French, and these are beautiful wildflower that can take over patches pretty rapidly. I grow these in my allotment and they have popped up everywhere. I'm not complaining really because the pollinators absolutely love them, but these are also edible as well. You can use the little tops just to add to your salads. They've got a bit of a bitter flavour, but quite a popular recipe for these, though I don't really rate it too much, is frying these, and you can just kind of dip them in batter and fry them. But yeah, I don't really rate that too much, but they are a cute little plant to add into your iced tea jugs and your salads and things like that, just to make your plates quite pretty. So I think I found my spot. It's a lovely little open bit here and an easy access point down here. It's definitely not the spot that they were on about. I did find that spot, but I found a lovely little patch here. Gonna do it, gonna go for a dunk. I don't know if you can see, but this here is Meadow sweet. I just spied it as I was going in. Oh, that was lovely. Oh, it's windy now. I should have definitely worn little shoes or flip-flops in there. But always be careful when you are swimming or going barefoot near hawthorn. letting my bikini dry for a little bit while I sit and eat a bag of crisps. So my microphone has now run out of battery, so I hope you can hear me okay. So this plant next to me here is Meadow sweet, and it's a really, really lovely waterside plant. It's got a heavy kind of honey caramel scent to it, and the taste of the flowers is kind of like a creamy almond taste, somewhat vanilla-y, and you can actually mix this with lemon balm to make a homemade kind of forage lemonade, or you can also add sweet woodruff to it to kind of enhance that sort of vanilla-y flavour. It's really, really delicious. Identification's pretty easy when you know what you're looking for. They've got this kind of like sycamore shaped terminal leaflet with opposite pairs of leaves down this reddish purpley stem here, and the flower buds kind of look like little heads of broccoli, and they open up into really, really lovely frothy creamy coloured flowers. You'll often find this by water. Absolutely loves water. As a herbal medicine, meadow sweet has long been used to treat headaches, so you can just chomp down on the leaves and it's said to relieve headaches. I'm not sure how long my batteries are going to last even on my phone, but down here is chamomile. This is German chamomile, and you can tell the difference because German chamomile has this much more kind of like upright, branched out kind of growth to it, rather than Roman chamomile, which is much more closer grown to the ground. It kind of creeps along the ground a little bit more. Another way to tell is that the cones of the German chamomile are hollow inside, so you can just kind of like cut it open or tear it open and see if it's hollow or not. But it doesn't really matter either way, they're both really, really nice. Chamomile actually means ground apple, which kind of gives a little bit of a hint to what it smells like. Has a really nice kind of appley scent to it, and this is really, really great in teas. Chamomile is known for being a relaxant, soothing anxiety, helping you get to sleep, so it's really great in nighttime tea blends, and it's also really delicious in iced teas as well. And I've been saying everything's delicious in iced teas lately because it has been almost 30 degrees every day for the past week, so that is all I've got on my mind lately. I made a really delicious elderflower iced tea the other day with mint and sorrel from my garden, and it was so nice. But yeah, I might actually make some chamomile iced tea. Do some litter picking before I go home. These little sticker packets. I'll take this away as well. That was such a lovely dip, and I think I did pick the perfect spot because there are so many cool plants around to look at as well. But I'm going to take a slow walk back now. I've got a good few miles before I'm back in Sheffield, so I don't think I'm going to have much battery, but if I do find anything on the way and my phone is still on, then I'll take you with me. But if not, then I'll catch you later.